Looks like Fauci was caught in 4K. Again. New Wuhan COVID docs completely contradict Fauci on gain-of-function claims, ex-State Department official says. Dr. David Asher said the lies propagated by China and the U.S. National Institute of Health have now been defeated. Yeah, man, this is wow. This is whew. Let's just get into it. Hard Talk Radio.
Planning a wedding is exciting,
Hold up.
a little daunting, especially when it comes to making.
Get to it.
Let's bring in David Asher, who led a State Department task force looking into the origins of COVID-19 and the role of the Chinese government. He revealed that there was a military aspect that was at work also in that lab, a presence in that lab. He's now a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute. David, good to have you with us. So tell us what you think is the biggest takeaway from these leaked documents.
The biggest takeaway is that there is essentially now a smoking gun that explains the specific features of the sequence that are so peculiar. This has been the sequence itself is like a fingerprint at a crime scene, and the most genetically unusual piece of the puzzle in the sequence is this thing called a furin cleavage site, which allows the virus to spread from bats to humans and among humans in a highly pathogenic way. The fact that the Wuhan Institute with EcoHealth Alliance, their U.S. partner, were applying for funding to do gain-of-function research explicitly to endow a bat-borne coronavirus that is related to SARS with the furin cleavage site so it could essentially kill humans. That was a plan that they proposed to DOD in March 2018, and thank God DARPA, DOD's Advanced Research Projects Agency, turned it down because it was too dangerous for weapons of mass destruction concern, and it was pure gain of function in their eyes, which totally contradicts Fauci.
And exactly, and it looks like they went ahead and did this, right? Anyway, because this sequence is very similar to exactly what you guys said that the virus looked like, and that you suspected this is exactly what had happened.
Yes, it looks like the Chinese, its government itself through something called the Global Virome Project, which also works with this EcoHealth Alliance, it used its China's own funding to conduct the research into advancing the pathogenicity of the COVID. And essentially, we now have all the pieces genetically they account for COVID-19 being manufactured in that lab in Wuhan Institute by the bat lady. All the lies that the Chinese have put out and all the lies and cover up that the NIH and others have been complicit in have now been defeated. We know it didn't come out of a wet market. We know they were working on furin cleavage sites. We know they had bats, pangolins, and humanized mice all in the same lab, and they were doing gain of function among them to create a super coronavirus, which is something that looks just like COVID-19.
So, and we know Peter Daszak, who has this American company, EcoHealth Alliance, was working with them. And you know, there's enormous frustration. Obviously, I know you have it, and they, you know, investigators in England have it as well. Why hasn't he been hauled? Why haven't we been able to investigate him and question him to get him to share with us what he knows, the full extent of what he knows?
Well, this is really now a matter of a criminal cover-up. I think that the FBI needs to be put to the test to actually do something, and rather than investigate American citizens for things that may or may not have been material to their mission. This is 100% a criminal conspiracy and a cover-up involving EcoHealth Alliance. I mean, they refuse to answer any questions from any of the Congress members that have asked them for their data. They were 98% funded, according to their own declarations, by U.S. taxpayers, and they darn well better start answering questions. And I'd say this, means we need a very substantial criminal investigation, and also a substantial investigation by the Congress, which needs to get off its sort of butt and get to work and use subpoenas. But that means the Democrats have got to cooperate for once.
It's unconscionable that this isn't happening. And I just want to very quickly play this soundbite from my interview with Dr. Redfield, because we see these variants happening and we see these hot spots. And here's what he said about why that was happening, because it was created, he believes, in the lab and it was supercharged. Listen to this.
This virus is replicating at a high capacity in humans. And as a consequence, the risk for variant evolution is extremely high. You know, we dealt with the UK variant. Everyone thought that was pretty bad. It was twice as infectious. But lo and behold, 3-4 months later, we had the Delta variant, and now it's the dominant variant in the United States. You know, sadly, I'm going to predict that, you know, within, 2, 3, 4 months, we're going to have another variant, and that variant's going to be more infectious than the Delta variant.
Just a real quick thought as we head out here, David.
It's just, this is what happens when Frankenstein's monster gets out on the loose. And, the fact that the U.S. government has any relationship still to the Wuhan Institute, to this Eco Health Alliance, is frankly, in my mind, criminal.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. There you have it. It's like the government creates its enemies, or it creates its enemies, or it's in bed with the enemies of the people of its own country. That's how our government works. It's the people. It's the elite against the people. That's what it's about. And we're screwed. There's no other really way around it. We're screwed. That's basically how it is. Okay, there's no other way around what to say about what's going on. And people could get mad and try to point fingers, but it's both of them, the left and the right, that are in on this. That's what it's about. Newly leaked documents obtained by private research group Drastic completely contradict claims made by both China and American immunologist Dr. Anthony S. Fauci about the reality of the gain-of-function research being done inside the Wuhan Institute of Virology that may have caused the coronavirus pandemic, according to a former State Department COVID-19 investigator. On the story, host Martha McCullen reported the documents released by Drastic revealed a plan to create a coronavirus, in this case SARS-CoV-2, that would be more infectious and transmissible via humans. The virus would then be released in bat caves, whereas researchers would test the flying mammals with vaccines to see if they could cure the virus. The Chinese researchers plan to inject supercharged virus into humanized mice to see what the effect on them would be. Dr. David Asher, the ex-State Department official, told Fox News the biggest takeaway from the new documents is that there is a smoking gun that explains the specific features of the virus sequence that are so peculiar. The most genetically unusual piece of the puzzle and the sequence is a furin cleavage site, which allows the virus to spread from bats to humans and among humans in a highly pathogenic way, he said. The fact that the Wuhan Institute, the Eco Health Alliance, as their U.S. partner, were applying for funding to do again a gain-of-function research, especially to endow a bat-borne coronavirus-related SARS with a furin cleavage site so it could easily kill humans. Eco Health Alliance, a New York-based NGO, is run by Dr. Peter Daszak, whom Fox News host Tucker Carlson recently discussed on his program. Carlson previously reported on Daszak's group funding of bat coronavirus research in Wuhan with the help of the taxpayer funding the federal government directed to Eco Health Alliance. We learned that the guy directly tied to the bat virus experienced in the lab in Wuhan was the same guy telling the entire world that there was no possibility this virus could have come from the Wuhan lab. Conflict of interest, anyone? It's absurd, Carlson said of Daszak in June, noting that the doctor organized a letter published in The Lancet that downplayed the possibility the virus could have come from the Chinese lab. On Thursday, Asher told Fox News he is relieved that in the end, DARPA, the Pentagon's research and development arm, turned down direct funding to the coronavirus project in Wuhan lab on account of weapons of mass destruction concerns. According to Asher, DARPA also felt concerned the research was pure gain of function, which contradicts Fauci. It looks like the Chinese got into the global viral project, which works with this Eco-Health Alliance, and used China's own funding to conduct the research into advancing the pathogenicity of COVID. Now we have all of the pieces genetically that account for COVID-19 manufactured in the Wuhan lab. The Wuhan Institute by the Bat Lady, Dr. Shi Zhengli, Asher said. All the lies that the Chinese had put out and all the lies in the cover-up at the National Institute of Health and others have been complicit in have now been defeated, he said, as the Bashida, Maryland Federal Institute is the umbrella organization of Fauci's NIAID. Asher called for a formal FBI investigation into the entire situation, calling it a likely criminal cover-up. The fact that the U.S. government has any relationship still to the Wuhan Institute is criminal in my mind. Well, that just goes to show that it's like JFK said, we have a shadow government and we have secret societies, and basically they don't work for the people, they work for their masters. That's basically it. Okay? That's basically it. This is what we are dealing with. This is what we are experiencing. But it's been said before that the U.S. government has been working with the Chinese government to create bioweapons. And they want to test it on people. Us. They want to test it on us. All right, so comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. And let me know. Thoughts and concerns, let me know in the comment section. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Anchor.fm and Podbean. Later.